Hey Internet, Fuffy here. Now we all like a good Tf2 trading series where someone starts with smaller items and slowly trades their way up to giant unusuals. Of course, recently, I've seen a drop in these types of series, mostly because the market itself has become so volatile and it's very hard to turn a profit unless you already have higher tier unusuals. Now that is all very interesting to think about and discuss, but what if we take those ideas and flip them on their heads? What if we make a trading series where we start with a recently unboxed God tier unusual and try and trade down to smaller and smaller things, eventually cashing out of Tf2? And that's what this new series is going to be. Riches to rags. Now of course, in order to do this, you will need a God tier unusual, and that's where my friend Songborn comes in. You see, he recently unboxed a crazy unusual, and I'll let him describe the specifics.
This was right before I downloaded Overwatch, and I thought to myself, well, I'm about to switch over to Overwatch. I should try and see if there's anything in my backpack I can sell. And as I was going through my backpack, I noticed I had a cosmetic crate. It was an all-class cosmetic crate. I was bored, so I just decided to open it. And when I opened it, the first thing I noticed was it was a heavy mohawk, or that's what the Merc Mohawk's just basic picture looks like. And then I noticed it was purple text, and then I noticed it was Scorch, and then I screamed.
That's right, he unboxed a God tier Scorching Flames Merc's Mohawk worth upwards of 500 keys. And when he first got this insane unbox, he went to Discord, he shared some pics, talked with people, and he started talking with me because he knew that I'm the kind of guy who sort of went through a trading obsessed streak. I watched a lot of those trading videos, and I still do actually. I find them very interesting. And so he asked me for some advice, and my first piece of advice was to just do nothing for a while, because honestly the initial people who are adding you are most likely trying to get advantage of the fact that he's not a very experienced trader. Of course, he had an unusual before, he still has that one, he's traded multiple ones, and so, I don't think that any scammers would get to him, but it's always a good piece of advice, first of all, like he said, don't take a deal that just seems too good, and he explained to me that he got a lot of deals that just seemed too good. And so then we continued to talk, and I eventually asked him what was his goal from this, and he essentially said that he doesn't need to own this God tier unusual, but he wants to make the most of it. And so we realized that our best option would be to try and sell this down to smaller and smaller items and eventually cash out of Tf2. Now, in his time as a player, he had only spent upwards of, $100 on the game, and he had found this item worth upwards of $1,000. So, this was looking like a net profit no matter what. So he instantly went to list the item on backpack.tf and try and get some good deals. So of course, with this new crazy unusual on the market, a lot of people added him as a friend, and, well,
6 of them were scammers, and I think like 4 of them were trying to shark me.
So we were off to a sort of rough start, but we did eventually get some good, or at least decent trade offers. One of the first ones we got was for a few different hats and a sniper rifle. Now we tried to negotiate with this trader, but it didn't really seem to go anywhere, and we wanted to wait for other offers. Eventually, that person just sort of stopped responding, and we never really got back up on that offer. We continued to get lowball offers from people who just thought that we were trading inept and wanted to shark us. But eventually, we got another one that seemed promising. It was for a large amount of pure keys, a 300 key unusual taunt, and that seemed okay. Now this especially looked promising because of the pure keys themselves, because, that's just straight to keys which we can then use to cash out, which is our end goal. Sadly though, in the end we had to turn him away just because of the volatility of unusual taunts on the market, along with his unwillingness to negotiate once we brought this fact up. We continued to get offers from idiots trying to shark us with 70 key offers, and with others who just sort of didn't offer anything back as soon as we tried to contact them. Now there was one specific offer though that caught our eye, a guy who was actually willing to negotiate. He had a 400 key electrostatic killer exclusive, and we also got him to add in some other smaller unusuals on top of that. All totaled up, I assume that we could get near 350 pure keys out of this offer, and that those smaller hats would be much quicker to sell, allowing us to cash out sooner, which is always a good thing to do when you want to have something in your bank account, you know what I mean? Now, you may be thinking that 350 pure keys approximately for this offer seems a bit too low, but essentially that's the same as quick selling this 500-ish key hat for about 30% off. Along with this, other people have started to attempt to sell the exact same hat on backpack.tf, and we just wanted to jump ship before any possible price war had started, which you can already see that sort of starting, where multiple people have already started selling their hats at around 450 instead of 500. So, we went through with the trades, and now we have some cool new hats to mess around with for a while. Of course, even more importantly than that, we're one step closer to cashing out of Tf2. My name is Fuffy, and this has been the first ever episode of Riches to Rags. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see where the series is headed, do hit that subscribe button, and please turn on notifications to never miss an upload. I understand that many trading series seem to take a really long time to update, but I already have a second episode in the works about selling these smaller hats that we have gotten, and it will also include a very interesting encounter with a scammer, where we try and see how far we can take things before he realizes that we're just screwing with him.
Alright, thank you so much, Fluffy and Songbird. Have a good day, alright?
With all that being said, I'm Fuffy. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.